If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good, and we're so excited today to have on the second half of our show Derek Sabori, who's Volcom's Director of Sustainability and Corporate Social Responsibility. Derek is in San Diego today. He's on business, and he's taken time out of his amazing busy schedule to join us at Green is Good. And welcome. Mike and I welcome you to Green is Good today, Derek.
Thank you, John. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be with you guys.
Hey, you're one of the real green rock stars out there in the business world, and we're just thankful and honored to have you on today. And your great company, which our listeners can go look at the website, Volcom.com, Volcom.com. Tell us a little bit in your role as the Director of Sustainability and Corporate Social Responsibility. And Derek, for our listeners out there, is one of those great people who have worked his way up from answering the phones there to this big position. People always ask us, how can I become the next Derek? Hey, there's no substitute for hard work, and he's earned it in 14 years. Derek, what do you do there now that you're in this very important and influential role? What does that mean over there at Volcom?
Well, it means a few things. We've been building a program for the last few years, and it contains a few different initiatives that we started. One is our Ecological series of product, which is our product line that is aimed at being more sustainable, less impactful, more eco-friendly, if I can put that in quotes.
Sure.
There's that part of the line, and that's where we'll use organic cottons and recycled polyesters, try some hemps. It's an area where we can kind of test things out to try to push the rest of our line into that direction. The idea isn't that that's a little capsule. It's an idea place where we can nurture things, test things, find reliable processes and materials, and roll them out to the rest of the line. We've also got our Give Back series, which is a part of the line where we will donate proceeds back to different nonprofit organizations. We're working with TACA, which is Talk About Curing Autism, the Boys and Girls Club, and we've got a few other things lined up in the upcoming seasons. We have a program which we call our New Future program, which is really getting the employees and sort of our workforce to consider and kind of challenge themselves with what they want the new future to look like. What does it look like to them, and how do we get there? What choices can we make today that are going to lead us in that direction? So it's kind of wrapping all those things together, making it one big department. For our Ecological series, we're also a 1% for the Planet member. So that means 1% of those sales goes through that organization, but we are able to donate a nice pool of money at the end of the year to different environmental causes that we've teamed up with and we've partnered up with. So it allows us to really give back. This whole program allows us to give back to the community and the environment and sort of make sure that our company and our people are excited to be there and that they're feeling good about what we're doing at the end of the day.
So you guys not only talk a good talk, obviously, but this is really part of Volcom's DNA. You walk a great walk. There's so many things that you just hit upon that most companies would really aspire to get involved with in terms of sustainability, and you guys have already launched and are doing these different initiatives.
Yeah, we are, and there's something, we've been working on them for a while. There's still a lot of work to do, and that's definitely one thing we haven't done yet. We haven't really staked our flag in the ground and said, hey, there we go, we're done. And I think, you and I, we both know that this is a journey that has no finish line. There is no end to this, so it's something that we're always pursuing. We're continuing to get better. We're educating ourselves constantly and challenging ourselves, and it's always a part of the conversation. So we're definitely far from perfect, but I feel really proud of the strides we've made, and I think just the fact that I've been nominated to this position as a dedicated position for how long I've been there and what I know, and especially in our industry, I'm really proud of the fact that we've been able to do this, and that I'm proud to tell people what my position there at the company is.
I mean, just amazing, and I love that, Mike. I love what he just said. It's not only a process, but there is no finish line.
That's exactly. As you're mentioning that, well, I'm reading a part of the blog on the Volcom.com site, and it's sustainability in the supply chain, and it's amazing. There are no coincidences, But just as you're saying that, I'm reading the quote of the day. There is no finish line in the game of sustainability.
Love that. That's great. Seriously, we're gonna use that, and that's a great. That is awesome. So, tell us a little bit about when great people like you take over these positions. There's two challenges that Mike and I keep hearing about. A is the challenge: how do you have buy-in from the top? And B, how do you then communicate that message and get buy-in from your employees? Can you explain a little bit about that process on both sides? How does that work?
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you touched on that, because I actually have a name for that. I've coined a phrase for that. It's called the grilled cheese effect, and it's the grilled cheese effect.
That is great.
It takes from both places. It's got to come down from the top. There's got to be support there. And you've got to instill that excitement and that support from the bottom up from the people as well. And I mean, it takes both of those sides of that toast to get grilled for that cheese in the middle to really melt. And it's kind of corny, but I really think it's true. You know, you're not going to have that good sandwich until both sides are really hot on this topic and really pursuing it. And I think we're fortunate there. It comes from the top. We've got a good vision at the top, and we've got a lot of people that are always willing to help and support. And even though this department consists of one, we've got our Ecological Society, which is a group of employees that are on the pulse, ready to help, and I think between those two, you know, it is a tough road to bridge that gap sometimes, but as long as you stay positive, get people rallied, and keep people excited, and I think, you know, let them know that there's something there and that we're working towards a greater good, I think everybody buys in pretty quickly.
Okay, so a great vision without implementation is a bunch of nothing. So how do you take that great vision that you have, obviously, in all the wonderful initiatives, and get both the top people and also your wonderful employees? How do you do that? Do you have access to everybody, or do you have to work through different channels at the company, or how does that line of communicate? Because other big leaders that Mike and I have had on the show, one of their biggest challenges they constantly tell us is messaging and getting the clear message and then getting the buy-in. It's like a two-step. So how does that work at your company?
Well, I think it's persistence, and it starts at grassroots. So, I mean, if it doesn't come, if there's not one single person at the very top that's saying, hey, this is a company initiative, it's going to take some grassroots work, and that's really what we did. We had people that were passionate about this, that were influenced by other leaders in sustainability, and we did not stop. We did not give up. Once we started talking this talk, we were committed, and we started from the ground up, and we were doing newsletters, and we were doing small events, and a lot of times it just sort of took you know, maybe me going out to a small little trade show and representing the brand and almost sort of getting approval, but not necessarily getting complete, I don't know, I didn't have the whole, you know, the mass marketing behind me, but before we know it, I would show up and I would come back and report, hey, I was just at a little green expo with the line. Hey, I just went and did a little talk at the community college on sustainability. Hey, I've done this. And pretty soon the momentum starts to build. I started sending out newsletters. I started getting people involved and asking them if they could come to different events or come to these talks or hear certain things. And then people started to expect these newsletters, and you almost couldn't help ignore it. And even, you know, my boss, the president of the company, he just realized, and we just said, hey, there's something here. There's a good buzz within the company. This is something that we need to pursue and continue charging with.
So, which brings me to the next point. Of course, we've given your great website out, volcom.com, but also talk a little bit about the adjunct website, volcom.com/new future. How does that tie into communication, internal communications, and external communications at the company?
Well, it's a new sort of, I guess, theory. That's a phrase we've used for a long time, and what we did is we've just adopted that as a philosophy, as an umbrella for all these things that we're doing, whether it's our Give Back program, whether it's our Ecological series, whether it's what's going on with 1%, the different partner organizations that we're working with, or just a place where people can get information on maybe what's going on in the sustainability community, what we're doing, what kind of things that we're doing. It's meant now to be sort of a central place where people can go to learn about how we see the new future developing. So it's a relatively new blog, but we're starting to put things up there every day. But that's kind of becoming our main communication portal to really get our message out and just sort of share the journey with anybody who's willing to follow along.
Speaking of the journey, so it's one thing to have a great vision and have buy-in and actually be doing all these things. As you go external, and obviously you're in the business of commerce, you're in the business of manufacturing and then selling your great products. Well, how is your sustainability initiatives received by your retailers, the people who have to now promote and sell your great products over at Volcom? How does that work?
You know what, we get a lot of good feedback, and I think people are definitely open to it, and there's little movements going on, and we've actually seen some of our key retailers in the area kind of really start to push their stores in that direction. Some, such as a shop called Hobie, they're dedicating stores to a completely kind of a green store where they're just focusing on carrying brands who are offering these ecological type products. So they see that there's a need for it, and it's something that they're believing in, and they're trying to pass on to their customers. So they're definitely excited about it. Is our end customer always asking for it? I think the verdict's still out on that. I think they're conscious and aware of it, but I also think that it's a responsibility that we have as a manufacturer and a brand, and I think our retailers are starting to see that as well. So the more that we can kind of push this out there and support it, I think that the more momentum it's going to gain.
Well, you're using your great and important platform, your commerce platform, as also a form of sustainability education to your consumers.
Absolutely, and I think we have such a powerful voice with young kids, young adults, and it feels really good to be able to launch big programs and tell them, hey, this is a really great brand that I know you guys love, but guess what? We're doing something really good for the community, the environment. We've got a program right now called Give Jeans a Chance, where a kid can go into any of their local surf or skate shops. I think we've got over 400 participating shops. They can donate a pair of jeans in there, and we're doing a jean drive. And our goal is to raise 10,000 pairs of jeans for the National Coalition for the Homeless and distribute those jeans out. This is our second year doing it, but distribute those out to local shelters and homeless folks who can really use those jeans.
That is so nice.
So to be able to align our brand with something like that, where now not only a kid is identifying with a brand that's cool because we've got great athletes and a great program, but it's cool now to let them know it's like, hey, it's cool to also give back and do something right in your community.
And it's so nice. You're so right, Derek. Mike and I have been now doing this show now close to 18 months, and we get to interview so many thought leaders and visionaries like you and that represent not only what you believe in, but also what your great brand believes in. And what we're seeing is exactly what you just said. People are tired in this country of being lectured to, hey, don't do this or don't do that. Everyone wants to know how they could become part of the solution. And just that, what you just said, that whole jean give back and recycling of those jeans and showing how the circle closes is such a tangible act where people then can feel part of the solution.
Yep, I agree.
It's wonderful. So talk about a little bit more also about other events that you do, because I know part of your initiatives include beach cleanups and other recycling and bulk water, and talk a little bit about more public events, and that's part of your business marketing strategy. And how does that interrelate with your brand and also your sustainability initiatives?
Well, we've done a few different programs. Like I said, this is the second year doing the Give Jeans a Chance program.
Yeah.
We've done we did the same with our board shorts. We did the Recycle Your Board Shorts program, where we also collected board shorts during the summer and gave those to different organizations in need. We did a film project last year, which was called LEAF, which is called Leaders of Environmental Action Films, where we challenged high school students in our area to submit 30 or 60-second short films based on any environmental topic that they wanted. We got some amazing work back from these kids. We do free contests for the kids. We do surf, skate, and snowboard contests all throughout the country, and even internationally. These are free contests where the kids can come and have fun and compete, and then we hold a big, kind of grand prize contest at the middle of the year each year. We do beach cleanups. We get the team involved, and we try to keep everybody educated and up on what's going on. We've got a big coastal community cleanup down here in Newport Beach that's coming up in September that we're a big part of. So we're always trying to, wherever we can, just stay in the loop and get people committed to giving back and being involved.
What's Volcom's zero waste aspirations? Explain what that really means for your company and what you're trying to do with that.
Well, that one's an aspiration for sure, because I know that's a tough one, but that's definitely on my agenda. And the idea of zero waste, I think, is twofold, because one, I was at a sustainability conference once, and I mean, it made such good sense that somebody said, hey, everything that you throw away in business is something that you've paid for. There's no reason anything should be ending up in that trash can. And if there is, you better go look in there to find out exactly what you're throwing away and understand it, because that's money that you spent. But at the same time, waste is bad for the environment too. That we're tapping into resources that are not being utilized, that that are not creating value for us. So the idea of becoming a zero waste company in somewhat of the long term here is to be more efficient, make sure we're minimizing the amount of waste that's going into the landfills, into the waste stream. And if it can't be recycled, then it's a matter of making sure that our business is running as efficiently as possible to maximize our expenses.
Besides Volcom.com/New Future and also Facebook, how can people continue to have a dialogue and be involved by watching how you're evolving your sustainability initiatives? How do you have a give and take with your customer base and potential customer base? How does that look like in a modern world of social media, Derek?
You know what? I think trying to stay involved and being out there. Lucky enough, I get asked at different to sit on different panels and be part of. We might have a trade organizational green boot camp. I've been able to sit on different panels for that and tell people about the journey that we've been on. I'll go to schools and wherever I can. I'm always, for example, being here, just being somewhere where I can kind of share my passion for this and my excitement and get people really kind of aspiring to, hey, you know what? If Derek can do it, I really want to do it in our company too, and I think this is something that we can run with. So wherever I get the opportunity or the chance or someone asks me to, I'll be there and I'll tell our story and show our product and get involved. And I get to go to schools too. I go to schools, and it's a great way to reach out to people.
Well, that's a perfect segue into our next topic. We know, Mike and I know, we've read all about you. We've talked to you off air before. We've read all about your wonderful company. This isn't just a paycheck for you. This has really become a passion and part of your DNA. And you've now recently authored Lou and the Earthbug Crew Zap the Energy Spikes, a book.
That's right.
So, this is just an eco action adventure book. Tell us a little bit about what made you do this and explain the thought process of how you came up with the idea, why you did it, and how is it going?
Well, it's a fun book, and I really needed, when I had kids, as my kids were we read constantly, and I was always looking for a way to portray this idea of sustainability to a 5-year-old, and I was finding that the books that talked about it seriously were a little too textbookish, and the ones that were talking about it lightly were a little too maybe silly, and also I wanted something that could identify with my own life and my own lifestyle. So I thought I had a niche where I could reach out to kids and parents and get them and challenge them to talk about some of these ideas of the simple ones: reducing, reusing, recycling. But the characters are the earth bugs, and they're a set of characters who surf, they skate, they're in a rock band. We say it's never been so cool to be so good, because they're doing all things fun. They're outdoors, they eat organically. Each of them has a specialty. One studies biofuels and renewable energy, and other ones, focuses on saving and protecting the outdoors. But together, their job is to battle the ungreens. So they battle the litter bugs, the water hogs, the oil slicks, the energy spikes, and it's just a fun way for kids to personify these things that we're always talking about. And that's how the book came about, from us picking up trash one day on a walk. And we knew that we were battling these litter bugs, and we just said, man, hey, if we're going to battle litter bugs, who can we be? We said, hey, let's be the earth bugs. And it just sort of stemmed from there. So
when did you write the book?
It came out last year, so last January. So it's been out for a year and a half now.
Great.
And it was sort of a family endeavor, and we've had a good response to it. I take it to schools, and I do assemblies for the kids, and the kids go nuts on it because I put it up on the big projector, and I make it a lesson. I don't just read the book, but each of these, we stop and talk about, hey, what is solar energy? Where else can you get energy, from? What does it mean to recycle? Here's a reusable bag. Which is better, this crumpled up plastic bag or this reusable bag? How about my reusable water bottle? I get them all excited and hyped up on the idea of living a more sustainable lifestyle.
Wow. You know, Derek, I'm on the Lou and the Earthbug Crew site right now, and it's if you're following along at home, listening to the show on your iPad or your PC, go ahead and check out earthbugcrew, all one word, .com. And it is really something, if you've got kids that are listening with you right now, they're going to want to explore this website. It is very attractive, very easy to navigate. Kids are going to love it, and I think parents will get it right away.
And that's my hope. And it really is meant to, and it's funny because I get great testimonials from parents. I get 2 testimonials. The first one is, oh my gosh, thank you. My kids are turning off lights like crazy, and they're calling us out for everything. This is so great. About a week or 2 later, the parents call back and say, okay, actually now my kids have taken it to the extreme, and they won't back off. so it's kind of funny.
You first get the love letters, and then they become a little tougher after that.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, so where can our listeners buy the book? I mean, where is it available? So and that's important. We want our listeners to buy this book and share it with their children.
It's available on Amazon. It's available there on my website, too, at earthbugcrew.com. You can click right there, and it's a secure website. You just go and you can buy it right there. We'll ship it out. We're a mom and pop shop, so we do all the order fulfillment. And we're in a few scattered stores here throughout Southern California as well. One of the local surf shops, Surfside Sports in Costa Mesa, they were an early one to support it. They've got it in their stores. So a couple of little specialty stores here and there. That Hobie store carries it. But mostly kind of the easiest way is going to be online through either Amazon or the earthbugcrew.com website.
Gotcha. So let's go back to Volcom again, as we're down to the last 2 minutes or so, Derek, and you're just, amazing. And why don't you share with us, and our listeners, what should they be on the lookout for as they go and shop and school's back in? What can they be doing to help support your CSR initiatives and the whole sustainability movement that's ongoing right now?
Well, the big one, which I'll just have to say again because it's in the stores right now, is that Give Jeans a Chance campaign.
Great.
They go into the stores, they're going to see these big recycle boxes. They've got all the art and the message on there. On our website, we've got great videos with all of our sponsored athletes kind of promoting it. But most any store that carries Volcom, they're going to go in there, they can see that. They can also look for our Give Back logo, which is we've got a big program right now in Hawaii supporting the Boys and Girls Club of Hawaii. We've got more product coming out kind of every few months here with the Give Back logo. So look for that Give Back logo. Look for our Vecological logo because it's product that's really made with the idea of being a more sustainable company in mind. And that's also, those dollars go straight back to the 1% for the Planet program where we're giving back to different environmental organizations, throughout the country.
Wow. I mean, for all listeners, again, out there, again, the website's Volcom, Volcom.com, or you could also go to their other website with a / and New Future behind it. You could also find them on Facebook, and you could also, of course, buy Derek's wonderful book, Lou and the Earthbug Crew Zap the Energy Spikes, on Amazon.com and on his wonderful website, earthbugcrew.com. Derek Sabori, you're not only informational, you're tremendously inspiring, and you are truly living proof that green is good.
Thank you, John. Thanks so much. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's been great to talk to you guys. Thanks to you too, Mike.
This program will be available for downloading in a couple of days from our station's website, keyword podcast. Thanks for listening, and join us again next week at the same time for another edition of Green is Good.